Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. It's me, Vasavi Kumar, your host. I am coming at you with another call-in question. So this question really threw me for a loop. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I have talked about my relationships on and off on this podcast. And I try to stay away from talking about relationships, mostly just because I was like super angry every time I would talk about relationships. And I was like, I don't think anyone just wants to hear me bitch and moan about my previous relationships. And I was like, maybe this is a great opportunity to answer this question because it will help somebody else who's going through the same thing. And so that's why I decided to air this question, because it's such a good one. For those of you who are out there who want to date again, be in a relationship again, and you're wondering, where do I even begin? If you've had previous relationships that have just let you down, if you've had lukewarm relationships that are just like where you're accepting the bare minimum, then this episode is for you. If you're looking to reevaluate your current relationship and you're looking to see what is it that you actually want in a relationship, have your needs changed, have your desires changed, then this question is for you. My hope is that in airing this question and answering it as honestly as possible, somebody out there will benefit. So this question comes from Rhonda. I'm going to play her question shortly, but I wanted to just give a few updates so far. So my Say It Out Loud group just began on January 16th, so we are in full swing. And if you didn't get a chance to join, you can go to the link in my show notes and you can get on the wait list for the next round, which is going to be in April of 2024. So we're now running Say It Out Loud, which is an 8-week program, 4 times a year. And so if you missed out on joining in the winter cohort, January, then we're going to have another spring cohort in April. So head to the link in my show notes. You can get on the wait list there. Remember, being on the wait list does not mean that you are obligated to join. It just means that you're expressing interest in the group, and that when we announce that the doors are open, you will be notified and be allowed to sign up. It's the green light to go ahead and sign up if you so choose to. The second thing that I want to say, if you've been looking for a creative thought partner, oh my God, someone that you can bounce ideas off of, someone that can help you really map out and get clear on your next steps with whatever creative project you're working on currently, I have a package called the Brilliance Extraction Packages. I'm probably saying it's wrong. It's Brilliant Extractor. Why am I calling it that? Because I believe that every single person has brilliance inside of them, and I have made it my mission to extract that out of them, whether it's through their words, whether it's through their writing, through any form of art that you may be engaging in. I want to help extract that brilliance out of you. And so all you have to do, if you want to hire me as your creative thought partner, as your life and business and mindset coach to help you as you are working through your projects, working through the ups and downs that come with upgrading your identity, really just becoming this new person, all you got to do is book a 30-minute creative strategy session with me. This is free. This is no pressure. There is no, requirement to sign up to work with me. This is just because I think everyone really just needs a space to say it out loud. And if I can help you in 30 minutes just with one little nugget or two little nuggets to help you get moving on your way and sharing your art, then that will make me very happy. And that is more than enough, right? Like sometimes you just need to talk to someone, get it off your chest, get the next few steps, and then keep it moving. But for those of you who are looking for more longer term containers, I do have 6-month packages. I have 10-session packages. I have packages where you have me basically Monday through Friday on Voxer, which is the walkie-talkie app. I have like a full service package, which is basically having me at your disposal, right? Obviously, we have boundaries, we have office hours, all that stuff. Like, that stuff doesn't need to be said, but I'm just going to say it anyway. So if you're looking to work with me one-on-one, I have 3 spots open for my one-on-one packages, and you can go to the link in my show notes and you can sign up for a creative strategy session. Like I said, no pressure, no stress, no need to do anything. Just I want to train y'all to get in the habit of asking for help. Okay. And being in business for 13 years, having run my business for 13 years and doing multiple creative things to pay the bills and keep my creativity flowing and be doing stuff that I truly enjoy doing. You know, I know firsthand how it feels to just be like, wait, how do I even get started? What is the first step? So I have an exact process that I use with people to help them work through their first initial steps with any project that they're working on. And so all you got to do is go to the link in my show notes. Okay. So those are my updates. This is what happens when you're just sitting in a black box confessional. That's what I call my sound booth here. Words just come out, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing on the Say It Out Loud podcast. We're saying stuff like updates instead of updates. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and air Rhonda's question right now. Listen to it in its entirety. It's about a minute long. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to go deep into her question, and I'm going to give you my personal responses to this, and I hope that it really helps. So I want to say thank you, Rhonda, for sending in this question. Y'all ready? Here we go.
Hi, Vasavi. My name is Rhonda Moore. I recently listened to your last 2 podcasts, and I really enjoyed them. I do have a topic that came to mind that I would like your insight on, and that is relationships. After having been married and having had experienced several relationships, what are the top 5 qualities a man or your next partner has to possess for you to entertain a relationship with them? Also, why are these important and should be valued? Additionally, what are the top deal breakers that prevent you from entering into a relationship and why? And lastly, can you expound on the areas an individual should have in place for themselves before getting into a relationship with someone? Thank you in advance for your input.
What a great question, Rhonda. Thank you so much. I've actually made a list on my phone of my answers to your questions because I wanted to put some thought into this. Because like I said, I haven't even, these are questions that I have not even gotten clear on. I hadn't gotten clear on until I received your question. In full transparency, when you asked me this question and you were like, what are the top 5 qualities? What are the top deal breakers? I was like, shit, I don't know. And here I am saying I want to date, and I'm like, I got to get clear on this. So I am going to be working on this more thoroughly with my therapist, but I did come up with my, off the top of my dome, off the top of my head, what is it that I'm really looking for? I didn't want to overthink it because I have a tendency to overthink these types of things. And I was like, no, Vas, you know yourself. You know what you've been through. You know what you're looking for. And so I kept it really simple. And by simple, I mean, I didn't overthink or justify or feel the need to explain myself. I just wrote down what I'm looking for. So when it comes to my partner, what I'm looking for are 5 things. Okay. And there's probably way more as well, but these are the top 5 things for me. And I'm going to go through each one and share why. The first thing, the very first thing is integrity for me. I need your words and your actions to align. If your words and your actions are not aligned, I don't trust you. And if I don't trust you, I don't respect you. And that's just the way it is for me. I need to know that what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're thinking are all in alignment. That is the definition of integrity, is doing the right thing by just living according to your values and doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. I need someone with that level of integrity because otherwise I can't trust them. And I've had enough people in my life who have betrayed my trust. So it's no, I'm not cool with the fact that you say one thing and you do another thing. So that's number 1 is integrity. Number 2 is empathy. I need my partner to be able to put themselves in my shoes and put themselves in other people's shoes so that they can step outside of their own self and understand what another person is going through so that they can be empathetic, so that they can be understanding. I feel like So many of my relationships that I've been in, my partners lacked the empathy to understand where I was coming from, and they would often call me naggy, and they would say that I'm asking for too much. Meanwhile, I'm like really just reaching for the bare minimum at this point, you know? And so just even getting a morsel of empathy was hard for me back in the day from some of my partners. So it's really important that my partner has the quality of empathy and possesses that, because regardless of whether it's with me or a stranger on the street, I need to know that my partner can understand other people. And and in my relationship with someone that I'm with, I want someone to understand and put themselves in my shoes, so that when we are in the middle of a conflict, which will happen because conflict is natural, it's going to happen. It brings you closer. It can really be a great opportunity to understand each other better. If you lack empathy, then you're never going to see where I'm coming from. And you're always going to be on the defensive and argue back with me rather than trying to understand where I'm coming from. I have found in a lot of my relationships it's been very one-sided, where I understand so much where the other person is coming from, but when I am seeking empathy, I'm not getting that back. Or when I'm trying to express something, I feel like I'm just talking to a wall. And a lot of times it's because the people that I've been with have lacked the empathy to understand where I'm coming from. They've lacked the ability to put themselves in my shoes so that they can really hear where I'm coming from, rather than making me out to feel like I'm some sort of crazy bitch for asking for what I'm asking for. So empathy, can you see how much that's a big one for me? Empathy. Number 3. I need my partner to know how to regulate their emotions. I need you to not come to me to regulate your emotions. I need you to be a sovereign human being who can handle themselves. Like, I can't be your therapist. Straight up. I cannot be my partner's therapist. I can listen, I can understand, I can console, but at the end of the day, I need you to be able to regulate your own emotions. I am not here to be the person to help you regulate. Now, I do think that co-regulation is a beautiful thing. I co-regulate with my friends. I co-regulate with my dog. I mean, like, when I'm feeling anxious, I go to my dog and my dog helps me, you know? So I want that in a relationship, like with my dog. But it's like, I need you to be able to give that to yourself, because otherwise you're always going to be relying on me. And that is the hallmark of a codependent relationship. So I don't want that. I need you to be able to regulate your own emotions. If something's going on, you're able to handle it. You're able to, you can talk it through. We can talk it out. But ultimately, I need you to get yourself back to a baseline on your own. Like, be able to do that on your own rather than relying on me to do that for you. And I will fully say this, right? Being a therapist, I'm an excellent listener. I read between the lines. I ask excellent questions. And so I have often played that role in my relationships, and that's something that I had to work on. I had to work on not having to be that person in my romantic relationships, and that's what I'm currently in therapy for right now, which has been super helpful for me. So knowing how to regulate your emotions, that's number 3. Number 4, oh my God. This one's huge too. I need my partner to be ambitious. I need them to have something that they're passionate about. Like, I don't care if it's baking bread. I don't care if you're ambitious in your business, playing piano, going out there and playing a sport. Like, what drives you? Once again, because I can't be your number one ambition, right? This relationship cannot be your number one ambition. I need you to have your own ambitions. And quite frankly, men who are ambitious, and I'm saying men because that is what my sexual preference is. I prefer men. It is such a turn on for me when I meet an ambitious man. Like, shit, I want someone that's going to motivate me, right? Like, I'm not saying I require someone to motivate me, but like, I want someone that I look up to, because typically in the past, I have been in relationships with men who admire me and put me on pedestals, yet I don't feel the same way about them. I don't want anyone to pedestal me. I'm nobody's God. I'm nobody's guru. Please don't put me on a pedestal. But I need you to have your own ambitions. I need you to have something that drives you, something that fuels you, right? Because we need to have those outlets. Like, I know for me, I have my voiceover work. I have my podcast. I have my coaching community. I have the things that I'm currently doing. I play tennis. I travel. I invest in real estate. Like, there are so many things that I'm currently doing. I'm a self-driven, self-starting, ambitious woman. And so I want to be with someone who can match my energy. That's really important to me too. Lastly, I want someone who is steady. I want someone who isn't erratic in their behavior. I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for consistency in word, in thought, in action, in behavior, in emotional stability. I want someone who I can count on, not someone who's up and down and all over the place. I need someone who is a steady rock. And so those are the top 5 qualities that I am looking for my next partner to possess. So now I want to get into the second part. Well, there's 3 parts to your question. So the next part is on the top deal breakers. So let me get into those. So when I first made my list of deal breakers, I had about 20, and I narrowed it down to 5. And there were things on my list that I was like, I could deal with this. And it didn't feel like settling. And that was the biggest thing for me, is like I didn't want to feel like I was settling again. But I chose my top 5 for the purposes of this podcast, so I want to get into it. So the absolute number 1 deal breaker is that this person lies, cheats, steals. Goes back to that integrity piece again. Like, if you lie to me, that is enough of a reason for me to not want to be with you, because I value honesty more than anything. Tell me the truth, I won't get mad. But lie to me, and I will be pissed, because I can handle the truth. And I don't like to be treated like I'm some incapable person of being able to handle the truth so that you can protect yourself. So lies, cheats, steals. By the way, if they did this in the past in their life, that's fine. Have I ever cheated in my life? Yes. Have I ever stolen something in my life? Yeah, back in the day I did. I did some really stupid things back in the day. Have I ever lied? Absolutely. I'm talking about right now, currently. I forgive people for what they've done in the past because we have all made mistakes in our life. Nobody is perfect. But are you continuing to do that? Like, that's a problem for me. I just shared this quote with the client that I was working with today. And I said, I read this somewhere, that the best apology is changed behavior, right? Like, you can say sorry over and over again, but if you're still doing the same shit, you're not really sorry. You just, you're doing the same thing over and over again. So lying, cheating, stealing, anything of that sort, even just not being honest about your feelings, not being honest about who you are, not being leaving stuff out. Like, I don't want to be a detective with my partner. I want us to have an open, honest relationship. I don't care how hard, I just hit the mic. I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care how difficult it gets, but I don't want you to lie to me because I cannot stand being lied to. Tell me the truth and we can work on it. Lie to me, we can't do anything. We can't do anything with lies, right? You're going to lie to me. You're going to lie to my face. You can tell that this is a huge deal breaker for me. So do not lie to me. Do not cheat. Do not steal. I don't care what you did in the past. Just don't do that shit when you're in a relationship with me, okay? And even if you're not in a relationship with me, I want someone who doesn't lie and someone who values honesty. My second deal breaker is consistently inconsistent. People who are consistently inconsistent. I cannot handle the inconsistency. That is not something that I want in my life. Don't say you want to be with me and then you're not going to be there with me. Don't say you're going to show up and then not show up. 1 minute you're into me, 1 minute you're hot, next minute you're cold. That back and forth, up and down, where do we stand? I don't want any of it. I don't want that consistent inconsistency. You know what I'm saying? So that's a deal breaker for me. I need steady and I need a person who is consistent because I am a consistent person. By the way, all of these things that I am requiring from my partner, I possess these qualities. I possess these qualities. I would not ask someone to do something that I was not willing to bring forth to the table. The third thing.
Let's take a quick break.
Having been in therapy since the age of 12, I know firsthand just how powerful the process of finding the right therapist is. Going to therapy and talking things out with my therapist has made me happier, clearer, and most importantly, I have a plan for my mental health. I have tools to be able to communicate with others and also the tools to cope when life gets hard, which it does. So let me ask you a question. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human who lives in this world who is going through a hard time, Therapy can give you tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with the therapist. There's a link in my description. It's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Vasavi. That's BetterHelp.com/Vasavi. Clicking that link helps support this podcast, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with the therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing out about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. I don't know where I would be without the help of therapy and my therapist, but I do know that life would feel that much harder. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Vasavi. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this podcast. Third deal breaker. They haven't been to therapy at all, or they refuse to go. So I'm cool with the fact if you've never been to therapy. I'm actually okay with that. You know, I mean, I have, 20, oh my God, wait, how many, 29 years of therapy under my belt. Not only I've been in therapy since I was 12, but I've been a therapist for the past 13 years. I understand not everyone has had the opportunity, the privilege, or the space to go to therapy. That's fine if you've never been, but are you open? Are you open to going together? Are you open to going so we can grow as a couple? Are you open to talking to somebody who is an expert in their field or who can help guide us through some conflict or through some challenges? Like, that is really important to me. And what this really boils down to, this deal breaker, Rhonda, is that this person is unwilling to grow. If you are unwilling to grow, look at yourself, change, or even do something that could actually better your life and better the relationship, and you're unwilling to do that, I'm not going to waste my time with you, period. Because I am someone that is constantly growing, constantly evolving. I call it micro evolutions. Every day I'm growing. Every day I'm expanding. Every day I'm learning. Every day I'm becoming more and more of myself. I'm becoming closer and closer back to myself again. So it's a tall order. I know that I'm asking maybe for a lot, but I'm not, because I'm willing to do it. So I'm not really asking for a lot. I'm just asking the wrong person. Just remember that. You're not asking for a lot. You're just asking the wrong person. So my third thing, my third thing is they haven't been to therapy at all. They refuse to go, because this really boils down to their unwillingness, their lack of willingness to change. And the last thing, and this is really important to me, I'm reminded of my father and my mother who treated everyone with respect. Everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a homeless person living on the street. It doesn't matter if you are a server at a restaurant. You're a cab driver, Uber driver. You're the richest person in the world. You have no money in the world. For me, a deal breaker is if you treat people in the service industry, the less fortunate, the homeless, if you don't have respect for people who are less fortunate than you, I can't be with you. I cannot deal with that, because that goes back to that empathy again. I once dated a guy. Every time we drove past the homeless camp, there was like a homeless camp on one of the main roads in Austin, Texas. This guy that I dated would be like, ew, disgusting. Homeless people are so disgusting. And it hurt my feelings to hear that, because it's like, these are human beings. Sure, we can call them just like homeless peoples or hobos. He would call them hobos. I can't believe I dated someone like this. I'm just saying it out loud. I'm like, God damn it. What was I thinking? But the way he would speak about homeless people made me cringe. So it is a deal breaker to me. If you cannot have respect, empathy, kindness towards people who can't do shit for you, period. The last part of your question was asking what are the qualities that we need to possess. And so I got really clear on the qualities that I know that I need to possess and that I do currently possess as I am getting out there and dating. Now, by the way, for anyone who's curious, I'm not getting out there and dating. I have absolutely, I have not dated. I have not gone out on dates For those of you who don't know anything about my relationship history, I've been married once. I got married when I was 28. I got divorced by the time I was 31. I was with him for 10 years. And then I got into another relationship, which I've talked about on previous podcasts, which was a very toxic, codependent relationship. And then I got engaged to another person after that. And I was with that person for about 3 years. So where I'm at now is that I'm not on any dating sites. I'm not actively seeking people. And I have my friends are all like, when are you going to go out on dates? And I'm like, listen, God has a plan. This is my belief. Y'all really want to know how I feel about dating and relationships and getting married again, if that happens again. I believe that God is so good and God is so great that when I'm just out living my life, that person will come as I am living my life. I don't need to go out of my way to seek another person, to find another person to complete me, to go out on dates. Listen, if you want to go out on dates, that's fine. That shit feels tiring to me. I want to live my life. I'm very, very happy with my solitude. I'm very content being alone. That doesn't mean that I don't want companionship, but I'm selective. I'm really selective. Call me picky. I don't know. I don't care. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm very selective because of what I've been through and because when I was younger, I didn't know myself. And so I just settled. I settled every single time. I settled. In fact, my first and only husband, he did not come from a lot of money, and I didn't care about that. I said to him, I will live with you in a cardboard box. Now, when I think about how innocent I was and naive I was for saying that, it was very romantic and very cute, but that was a lot of the reason why we didn't work, because there was just such a mismatch in ambition. There was such a mismatch in our financial mindset, and it really took a huge toll on our relationship. Now, I don't want to get into that. I want to get into the qualities that I want to possess and that I do possess as I enter into this next phase of relationships. Whenever that's going to happen, whatever that looks like, whoever that's going to be with, like I said, God is good, God is great. I'm not worried about finding someone. They will find me. They will find me. And I have that level of trust and faith. And maybe you don't, someone may not agree with that. They may think, well, you need to put yourself out there. It's like, no, I put myself out there. I'm living my life. I'm out there. And if someone crosses my path, I'll give them a chance. But here are the qualities that I need to possess. Number one, being open. I am open to meeting people, right? I just haven't gone out there and met someone. But if someone crossed my path, I don't have a closed heart anymore. My heart is open. And with that, not only am I open, but I'm also discerning. I can tell right away whether someone is going to be a good fit for me. Before, I was happy just to even get a morsel of attention, if I'm being completely truthful with you, which I am, because I'm in my black box confessional and I just can't seem to lie in this confessional, and I hate lying about shit like this. Because why? The more honest we are with each other, the better. So for me, I have not been discerning in the past. I've thought that relationships, I can make a relationship work, but then it just turned out to be really one-sided. So there's a lot of experience that I have on what I don't want. So I've become very discerning. And so the qualities for me that I'm possessing in this season of my life is being open-hearted, being discerning, having authentic communication skills with myself, with my friends, with my clients, with the people, my family, just being authentic through and through, because that's not going to all of a sudden happen in a relationship, right? I'm going to all of a sudden be authentic in this relationship when I haven't been practicing authentic communication in other areas of my life. So another quality that I want to possess and that I need to possess, that I know that I have, is authentic communication. Number 3 is boundaries. Oh my God, this is huge. This could be a whole nother episode on my boundaries. I know my boundaries. I know what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do. I know where I can be rigid. I know where I can be flexible. I just know myself, and I know what I'm willing to do and not do. I was going to use the word tolerate, but it's like, no, we're not in the season of tolerating shit. No way. I'm not tolerating anything anymore. My life is too precious for me to just have a relationship or a person in my life that I'm tolerating, right? So I have boundaries in my life for a reason. I have boundaries to protect my peace. I have boundaries to protect my sanity, my time, and my energy. And I'm very clear on those boundaries, and I have no problem expressing them. The fourth quality that I need to possess is self-regulation. Remember how I said that I needed my partner to be able to regulate their emotions? Yeah, that's huge for me too. So the quality that I possess is that I can regulate myself. I used to be the kind of person that when I was anxious, I always just went to my partner, wanted my partner to make me feel better all the time. But now I can make myself feel better. I know how to make myself feel better. That doesn't mean that when I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to go to my partner and say, sweetie, I'm not having a good day. It might be a little difficult for me because I've been so used to and conditioned myself to take care of myself emotionally. But that is something that I'm willing to practice. I'm willing to practice opening up to my partner and saying, hey, I'm not having a good day. I need some time. I need some space. Can we talk this through? But it's not going to be like, I'm in a bad mood. I need you to fix it. No, it is no one's job to fix my mood. It's my job to do that. So another quality that I'm possessing is self-regulation, the ability to regulate my emotions. And lastly, what do I have here? Oh, this is so important, y'all. The last quality that I know I want to possess and need to possess and do possess is that I have my own life. I have my own life, and it doesn't involve a partner. I have my own life that is magnanimous and magical and beautiful and filled with beautiful connections and experiences. And I have my own life, and I'm able to have fun and enjoy myself without somebody, which means that when I get into relationship with someone, I am not relying on this person to make me happy. I know how to make myself happy. I have my own hobbies. I have my own interests. I think the biggest mistake for me in previous relationships was that I didn't have my own life. I enmeshed myself so much in other relationships, in my relationships, that when they ended, I didn't know what to do with myself. Right? I didn't travel or really play tennis or do all these things that I really love doing and, venture out and try new things because my life was their life and their life became my life. And so it's so important for me that I have my own life. So that's what I got for you, Rhonda. This was like a therapy session for me to even not only record this, but to actually sit down and write these things down. And I'm hoping that for all of you listening, if you want to get clear on the qualities, on the deal breakers, on the things that you're looking for, I hope that something that I said maybe struck a chord with you, and maybe now you're looking at the things that you want in your life differently from a new perspective. And like I said, I did not say this. I am not a relationship expert. I am not a relationship coach. I am just someone who is very clear on what she wants. And I want to say that out loud because I want to give somebody else that strength, courage, hope, and confidence to be able to say it out loud, what they want in their life, in their relationship, in their career, in any aspect of their life. We just so happen to be talking about relationships today. So thank you, Rhonda, for this beautiful, beautiful question. I appreciate you for sending this in. For those of you listening, if you want to leave a voice note and have your question aired on the podcast, if you go to the link in my show notes, there's actually a link that says leave a voice note here. You can just leave a 1-minute recording and I will air it, and it can be anonymous. If you don't want to say your name, you don't have to say your name. But in thinking about and structuring this podcast, I was like, well, who's saying it out loud here? I'm saying it out loud here. It's my podcast, but I want my listeners to have the freedom to say it out loud, get their questions answered. So please, I encourage you to please leave a voice note. If leaving a voice note is not your thing, then you can always just leave a written message and we can answer that. I could read your question out loud, leave it anonymous, or use your name, whatever you choose. But just go to the link in my show notes. It says leave a voice note here. And so I just want to say thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. This has been quite the journey, and I'm going to keep you all posted on all the adventures. And I just want to say thank you for listening to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. I love you, and I'll catch you next week. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.